Hey soul peeps, welcome back to the Garden of Eden. I'm Dee, and I am still winter sowing. These are the soil blocks that we've been making in our previous videos. They are 2 parts peat moss, 1 part perlite, 1 part compost. And so we decided to do soil blocks again because we saw that we were very successful with them. Now my container is kind of shallow, but I'm going to venture off and grow some zinnias. So we're probably going to up pot them in another month or so. So these are what we're growing. We're growing some canary bird zinnias. And I have some star flowers. That's the only oddball out. And I got these from Leah's Leaves. Leah's Leaves is on YouTube, and she is also a part of our Facebook group on Facebook, Garden of Eden. And we're going to do some zinnia envies. These were very pretty, very light colored, tall zinnia. And these are some saved seeds from my peppermint zinnias. We're going to do those. And let's see what else we have over here. Oh, these were so pretty. These were bright red with yellow centers, and the centers were like gold. Very, very pretty. I had them growing at my front door. These I got on a trade. Lilliput zinnia. Never heard of those, but we'll be growing some of those. So we have our little faithful tabs. Check out my videos if you haven't already about how to make these out of recycled plastic tubs and solo cups. So we have the L is for Lilliput. So we're gonna put that there. I think I'm gonna set them to the side because this is not a deep container. That's the green. Can you winter sow zinnias? Yes, you can. And some people may say, well, I would just direct sow zinnias. Okay, that's on you. But I want to have that pop of color going in the garden because I believe in helping out my little bee babies. And they'll be looking for some food. We had some dandelion growing in the garden. So I'm like, okay, we got the first food for the season for the bees, but we're going to plant these flowers. So hopefully come the end of April, May, we'll start getting some action on them. So this is the first one, the Lilliput. And if you're not familiar with soil blocking is typically used on a tray, and you water from the bottom. Now the benefit for the soil blocks is that you'll have each individual flower in its own little cube. It takes the place of you getting those grow trays, those not the grow trays, those seed starting trays. So less plastic to deal with. So I'm going to put one in each little indentation because it makes a little indentation. Let me show you the soil blocker. That's my little dirty soil block, and it has the little dibbles right there. And it puts an indentation in the block so I can put a seed. Now, if you have a larger seed and you want to put it a little deeper in the hole, you can replace the little divots that's in there and you can get a deeper hole, or you can do like I do. I just get a screwdriver and I push it down. You know, simple, simple, simple. So these are those. And I'm learning to do some editing, so I may try to find the pictures of the different ones that we don't have pictures for and put them up on the screen so you can see them. So the next one is the green ones. Oh my God, these are so pretty. And all my zinnias were part of my pollinator garden except for the one I had at the front door. And the bees love zinnias. The hummingbirds love zinnias. And I mean, they are a beautiful pop of color, and all you have to do is deadhead them, and they just keep dividing and growing, and they're really pretty and really easy to grow. I would recommend zinnias to any gardener, especially a beginner gardener. You want something that's easy to grow, that's not intimidating. I mean, they show out all summer, and I mean, not only bees and hummingbirds, but I see dragonflies on them. You know, that is what you want for your garden because that's our little garden helpers. They help us to pollinate, and they help us in pest management as well, where it'll bring in the beneficial insects so we don't have to spray all those nasty pesticides in our garden. So the next one is the red one. Now this red one is like a deep red. I mean, it's gorgeous, big flowers on it. I mean, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And I made a friend of mine, I brought her some for her birthday. And she was like, Dee, where'd you get these zinnias from? I said, honey, I grew them. You can grow them too. We just saved some of the seeds, and they're kind of long. I think that might be 2. That's okay. That's more for the party. And typically you could just set them on the block. You don't have to, you can just spray with a little water. You don't have to cover the seeds, but you know, I'm fairly new to this, so I'm gonna err on the side of spraying, putting a little soil on the top, just because that's my habit as a gardener. Okay, so we have P, so P stands for peppermint zinnia. We're gonna sow some peppermint zinnias. That's gonna be on this next block. And so they'll grow, and like I said, my container is not very deep. But when I see, you know, it's enough for them to grow and get a second set of leaves. This is, if you viewed my recycle video, this is that croissant container that I am using. And I have holes on the bottom, and you see all the holes drilled on the top. And we're gonna set that out in the garden. So where are we? We're on peppermint, so do some of our seeds. So when you are growing them, you let your seed heads dry out. And when your seed heads dry out, you just kind of, put the zinnias in your finger, and then they'll fall apart and you'll get these little seed heads, and you save your seed heads. So it's a real easy plant to grow. And if you just leave them there, I mean, if you have the gardening space, they will reseed themselves and come back the following year. So my mom had a wall of zinnias, and that's when I first saw them, and I asked her what it was, and she began to tell me, and I said, well, I want some seeds. She said, go and cut the dead flowers, or at the time I didn't really know. And I was like, okay. So I brought them home and I started growing them, and I was just in love with zinnias from that time on. So okay, now we have the Y, or the yellow zinnia. Okay, this one was a free giveaway from Baker Creek. Isn't that bright and vibrant? That's going to be very pretty in the garden. So we're going to have bright red, we're going to have yellow, you're going to have the contrast of the green, the peppermint. The peppermint zinnia I didn't find to be too big of a zinnia, but it was very cute. So I'm going to put these over here. All right, and I'm just doing one seed, you know, I'm going to do this by faith. And I mean, I don't need necessarily all these flowers. And like I told y'all, I'm in 2 seed exchange groups, and I will give away what I can't grow. And I have friends, we trade plants. They start some seeds and I start some seeds, and we just trade with one another. And all of our gardens are vibrant and beautiful, and you know, we can share. And I have some church members, they will share different things with me. And that's why I try to grow a little bit more than what I need. I always like to give. Okay, and these are the straw flowers. So these seeds are very tiny. Teensy tiny. Never grew these before, but I looked the picture up, and it's an apricot peach straw flower. So I want to get as many flowers in the garden as I can, not only for the pollinators, but also for, I went to a class about companion planting. You know, I want to also grow plants that are going to help with the pest management. And they're going to help either give off colors that's going to, that the pests don't like, or they're going to give off smells that the pests don't like. And they're going to give our garden nice, beautiful colors. So I sowed a couple of seeds in there because I've never grown straw flower before. But you know, when you get free seeds, you just do what you do. So I am going to take a handful of dirt, and it's already pre-moistened. I'm just going to put a little bit loosely over the tops of my little divots. And we're going to see what's crack-a-lacking. Now, all the ones that I've sown in the garden, when the temperature reached its, when the seed got to the temperature that it needed, they germinated. So I have a bunch of marigolds out in the garden, and thyme, and a bunch of other things that are growing in the soil blocks, and I'm excited when it comes time to transplant them in the garden. Some things I'll be transplanting in the next few days that are fall, spring plants, and then we'll wait a few months and we'll be doing the spring garden where we do all of our vegetables, our tomatoes and eggplant and peppers into the garden, and we'll be so excited to sow them from soil blocks. And then we can really tell if this was worth all the hype. All right, If you haven't already, click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for coming to the Garden of Eden. And if you have not viewed my winter sowing videos, please go back into the playlist, and there's a winter sowing playlist to teach you how to winter sow the original way, which is in containers with 3 to 4 inches of soil, and also how to soil block winter sow. All right, peace out, soil peeps, till we grow again.